Okay, welcome back to part 2. If you missed part 1, look in the description box for the link, and that's an easy way to catch up. And now in this part 2, we're going to be dealing with the second masterboard using up junk mail envelopes. And it's been a lot of fun, and I've already done this particular masterboard, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly what I did here, but it'll have a little bit of different slant because I'll be using different papers, but most of the rest of the second one will be very similar to this and yet different. And so I will wind up with 2 coordinated but yet different masterboards by the end of this video. So stick around and let's go to work. By the way, if you like the video, find the training helpful, I hope you'll give it a like and share it with friends and family. And if you're interested in additional resources for this project or other projects that you're doing, please visit my Etsy shop. It's called MissDarlingArts, and I have a lot of resources there. And also you can check the description box for other resources that are not in my shop but that are available to you, tools and various things that I use. Alright, let's get to work on our masterboard number 2. New little envelopes I cut out somewhat resemble what I had done already, and so these are the papers that I have chosen. I'm going to repeat, I like that number 1 so much, I'm going to repeat that on this envelope, and then my middle one had the black, and so I'm going to cover that with the black again. But I'm going to do something a little different on the small front one. In the other one, as you can see, I had these smaller numbers. And so this time I'm going to do something a little different on that front one. And so here we go. But put this off to the side, and I'm going to do this one first. And this is the one where the flap comes over the front. And what I did was, let's see, how did I do this? I wanted my number, oh no, what I did. I don't think I had a template for this. I don't think I need one, but I'm going to put that in right about there where those numbers are going to just start on the flap, and then I'm going to cut out Okay, I'm going to cut out this bottom. It's a little hard for me to see where my pencil line is. I think it's right about there. I'm going to go a little beyond that. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this onto the flap. and burnish it down. And now I'm going to cut right across the end of the flap. So now when that's down, then I'm going to position this one right below that. So the image continues even though it's on a different layer. Butt them up as close as you can get. And then trim off the excess. Leaving the paper just a hair larger than the envelope itself so that it doesn't show on the front. Okay, so there we have our flap. I think I'm going to, this is just a little bit of grunginess that was there on the paper, but I think I'm just going to trim that off. All right. So there's the back envelope, and then I'm doing the second largest envelope with the black cardstock. So that's just a matter of gluing it on and then trimming it off. See this, I want the shinier side out. Now you can position these smaller envelopes on the big envelope wherever you want them to go, but because I'm an asymmetrical designer, I generally opt for an asymmetrical placement. But you know, if you're not comfortable with asymmetry, then you know, put it where you like it. Okay, so that's envelope number 2, and you want to make sure that everything is glued down. Which reminds me, I did not get everything glued down. It's up to you whether you would cover this, the rest of the inside of this. I'm not going to do it for this video, but it certainly is something that you could do if you choose to. And, you know, I mean, one could take a leftover piece like this and use to decorate or not. I want to have that black background, so I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is, if you recall, we're working on this section right here. So instead of these numbers and going across there, I'm going to deliberately put something with some stronger teal green in it, because I'm going to use a sheet that is a little stronger than I had on the previous one. You can always make a template even for the envelopes that have no windows. I don't particularly need that, but it is an option. So this is going to go down here. And I see I need to glue this flap. And so this is going to lay in. I'll probably line that one up there, and that will leave an asymmetrical black background. Or I can do it on the other side, and maybe in this case I like that better, I think. So I'll probably glue those down that way. I'll do that a little later. So that section is pretty much ready to go. So now we'll take this section, and here's the new template I had to make for this envelope. And because it has a window, I have to decide what's going to go in the window and what's going to go around the window. And because the space isn't very big here in terms of going around the window, I thought it would be nice to put this ruler design down there so I get a whole bunch of numbers going. And then on the inside, I plan to put these numbers here. So this is where my template comes in very handy in helping me decide where to position this so that I get on the inside the kind of design I'm looking for. And so I think that's pretty good right there. I'm pressing down a little bit more than I usually do with my pencil because of the dark areas that I've had a little trouble seeing. Okay, now that's, oh, I didn't need to do that. This is going to be the backing sheet. Didn't need to do that. All I need to do is cut this out a little bit smaller than the envelope so that it will fit inside. You do have to remember what you're working on, the inside or the top side. Okay, I want that lower, so I'm going to cut more off down here. Okay, that's pretty much where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that in there. Kind of hold it in place. And so then this will be glued down here. I left the flap on, folding it to the inside so that it will give a little more strength to the top of the back of the envelope. Well, I guess it really didn't need. Now the flap is here on the front, and that will give that a little more strength. And so now I'm going to work on the top. And to conserve paper, and I think I'll move this. Well, I'm not real happy with that. Oh, that's not even going to show. I'm cutting that away, so we're fine. I'm positioning my template so that I pick up this fairly strong narrow strip of numbers, and I've got another one over here. And I'm going to need to garter a fresh clip. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to cut this right along here, and then I have to make, this time we actually want to cut out our window. Didn't get the best curve there. Okay, now that's going to drop in there. The only thing I make sure of is that I have my window in the right place. Because I purposefully cut the paper a little bit larger than the envelope, so I'll have plenty of area to trim. And now we'll just glue this one down. Making sure that we get our glue close in around the outer edges of the window. Put it in thinly so it doesn't hopefully spread and go out onto the cellophane. Burnish it down and trim off the back. Okay, and we have the window envelope. I think that I'm going to, it's sort of risky. I was thinking about putting a black trim around that. I'm not real happy with how I cut the paper, but it's risky, so I'll have to think on that, and maybe I won't risk it. Alright, so that's another one down. Okay, for this one, I have two envelopes. One is just a, has a window on it, but I'm not going to use the window. I'll be gluing that down behind, and I will use the little window on the front, and I want the butterfly and the numbers here to appear on the outer And on the inner section, how did I do this? I want to pick up that lighter clock face. For inside my window. And because it's going to be in the back, I can actually have a smaller piece than I have on the front. So that's going to drop in there. I'll trim off a little bit on the bottom so I have some wiggle room. And this will be the top of my window envelope. That's going to position up well right there. Go ahead and get that glued in. Okay, and now I will go ahead and glue down this one side. Then I will need the overlay. Now to do the top part. I can't go any lower because this is on top, so I'll position that right there, and I was hoping I would get a little more of that butterfly, getting a little cut off by the window. Maybe I should rethink I think what I'll do is I'm going to position this over here, and then I may cut the butterflies out by hand and glue them on top. Oh, forgot I need to cut out my window. I'm going to go ahead and snip this off now so I don't forget about that butterfly later. Okay, let's just double check. Oh. If you don't like trying to work with the curved, the rounded corners of the window envelope, you can square them off if you choose. The envelope's going to be hidden underneath, so you're the only one that will know that that you did that. That's going to lay in like that with the clocks in the background. I like that. I think that's going to work out just nicely. By the way, if you enjoy this content and find it valuable, I hope you'll go ahead and give it a nice like and leave me a comment, make a suggestion, ask a question, share the video with friends, family, or anybody you know that enjoys working with paper and doing DIY projects. They might just love this type of project. Would appreciate that very much. And visit my Etsy shop for resources that will help you not only in this project but in other projects you might be doing. It's simply etsy.com/shop/MissDarlingArts, or you can just search for MissDarlingArts. Put a space between the words for Etsy. I think sometimes it has a problem finding me if you run it together as one word. Alright, I'm very pleased with that. And let's see, now this is going, this is for this upper quadrant here. So we have the smaller envelope in front of a bigger envelope. And what was I going to do with that bigger envelope? I'll be right back. I got to find out what I did with the other paper that I had planned to use with this. I'm almost out of time anyway, so I'll be right back. I think it'll look very nice with the smaller one that'll go on top. So my envelope will open up here. I'm going to glue the sides down. Oop, what am I doing? looking a little blind there. I should have given myself something to gauge my placement, and I didn't do that, so I was doing it a little blind. Hope I got the paper on reasonably straight. We'll find out in a minute. I think it'll be all right. Alright, and now this small one will lay in there, right about there. And I'm liking that. Oh, before I forget, it's really good to do this either as you go, or be sure and do it if you're going to ink it. I think it always is a nice touch. So if you have any white, I can see I have just a little bit of white peeking out at the bottom of this one, and inking it just makes that all go away. I forgot to do anything on this earlier one, so we'll take care of that right now real quick. Not that it's even going to show up on that one. That I'm also going to go around the bottom of this flap. That will just differentiate a little bit from the background. Okay, this goes together, and we just have one more to do, and that's this double envelope. I did luckily find one in my stash. They're a bit unusual, but I did find one, and so I'm going to put this on the bottom. I won't get quite as much showing up in my window this time, because this is a slightly different envelope, and the windows are in a slightly different location, but it's going to be okay. Now they're obviously a lot easier to glue down when one side is not attached. Which I'm very glad of in this particular case, because with the two windows, then it makes placement a little trickier. And we're just trimming off the back. So now we have this, and on the front I want to use this, some of this teal. Now you can see why on one of these other ones I wanted to use more of that color. It doesn't appear just in one place. I think I'll maybe cut that out and position it down in here, because this sheet doesn't have a whole lot going on at the moment. When I'm cutting my windows and I put my straight edge over it, I can't see it any longer. So I put my blade right where I want to start and then line it up and put my thumb right about where I want to stop. Of course, to show you that, I moved my blade because I don't want to cut down too far only far enough, but stopping before it starts to curve. This way I get a nice clean straight line across most of it, and hopefully do a good job of cutting the rounded corner or the rounded ends with my scissors. If anybody has a smarter, better way to do this, I hope you'll share that with all of us by putting it in the comment section. But it's the best way I presently know how to do this. I think besides getting it as straight and even, you know, cut as you can, it's important to make your cut slightly smaller than the actual window so that your paper will nicely, you know, do an adequate job of hiding the envelope underneath. You know, and being particularly careful if you're using some paper that you have a limited quantity of or can't go and reprint. Alright, let's see how we're doing. Okie doke. So far so good. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down while I have a chance. I think I have, oh, I have another place to glue down, I see. Okay, going in close, make it nice and tight around the window so you get a nice, good adhesion. Have some pencil marks here I'm going to erase. Probably getting about time for me to replace my blade here. I see it's getting a little bit on the dull side. Uh-oh. I had a tear up there. No problem. This is vintage. And tears are okay. We're going to minimize the look of it, however. With our walnut ink. And what I had said earlier, I think that I will fussy cut this wonderful little stamp. And let's see how that looks. That works for me. Just going to trim it down a little bit more. Well, I guess you want to be stubborn. There we go. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and glue the smaller envelope down to the bigger one. Lining up the right side. And I think we will fussy cut this little butterfly. How are you all today? Those of you who are still with me. I do hope you're well. You may be back to work or back to school. Tell me how things are going in your part of the world. I like that. Pulls the eye upward because we're quite bottom heavy, so we need to something, and we had this little empty space up there, and the butterfly just looks very cool there. We have this and we have this, and then I think I determined that I prefer this on the outside, just like I did on the other one. Pocket number 1 and pocket number 2. I hope you like how this is progressing. I'm quite happy with both of them. I think they're both working out just as I envisioned. There's those, and then we have this. I think I'm going to need some sort of a focal point there. I love all the numbers and everything, but there's nothing that's really drawing your eye, and I think I need something to drop in and right about there. And we'll proceed now with looking for a position. Hang on while I find my backing sheet. Okay, here it is. I folded it in half so I can see where my center line is, and I don't want to do the exact same positioning as on the other one, so I'm going to maybe try this, and again probably putting my biggest ones on the bottom so they have good visual support, and then the smaller ones on top, but positioning them down a bit so there's a little extra space above them for ephemera to poke out. I've got light and dark and medium dark. We got teal and teal. Alright, so I'm going to need something teal colored, I think, up here. So I'm taking the teal around, going around the world, and probably can get away without having any there, but I need a focal point up here anyway. Let's see what we have. I'll be right back after I find something. Alright, I'm ready to finish up. I have some small decoration I'm going to add, but I want to go ahead and glue these down first. Again, staying away. I'm about 1/8 of an inch or a little bit more away from my center line. And I have to make sure everything is glued down, and it is. Checking. Positioning this one a little further down instead of up in the corner. And let's see, I'm not fully enclosed here, so we've got to close up this side. And the last one, we are fully enclosed. Perfectly okay to put your window at the back where no one will even know it exists. Do what you have to do for your design aesthetic, but also functionality. All right, now you can see if folded and used as a page, that's what that would look like, and the opposite side would look like this. But we're not quite finished. I have some little ephemera. I have this wonderful little bee. I want to bring a little bit of that yellow tone and some of the brown over onto this teal envelope. Just kind of sprinkling my colors all around. Little bee, busy bee, is going to drop right in there. Now I have one butterfly up here, and obviously butterflies are a real go-to for color, and I just love butterflies anyway. But I don't want to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-2, and I'm going to put 2 of them here together in a grouping. That helps fill up a little bit more of that horizontal space there on top of the window. I don't want our butterfly to feel too small and lost in the space. And a good way to solve that is to put a little grouping. And that pulls some of this teal and green and yellow tone, kind of a mustard, up there. So we've kind of sprinkled all the colors. Let's see. I think. Got right in there. And gosh, I'm happy with that. Maybe I'll come back a little later and cover this up. Obviously, a flap like that is going to pop up, and I think I need to do that, but I'm not going to take your time on camera. So here is version 2, and here was version 1. I'll take the tags out of there for the moment so you can compare. Okay, here's the one I did off camera when my card was apparently full and my camera shut down. And then here is version 2, a little darker palette overall. So we got sort of a light palette and we have a darker palette, and I'm very happy with both. So there we have it, and we've got Masterboard 1, Masterboard 2, very fun, using up direct mail return envelopes cut up and glued down in various ways, covered in beautiful papers and all coordinated, and it can be used as a masterboard. You can use it for journal pages. You can even cut it up for tags and whatever if you so choose. Not the original, but a copy of it is what I would suggest. And I just want to thank you for being here, and if you found this to be of value to you and you learned something, please share it with friends and family, anyone who's interested in DIY, particularly with paper and fabric. And I've enjoyed doing this, and I hope you'll come back again for more training on other projects that I am got in the pike and coming to you soon. Be sure and check my Etsy shop for additional resources, also the description box below this video. And until we meet again, this is Miss Darling calling this a wrap. Bye-bye.